Hey guys, it's Tartan coming at you with another game of Total War Three Kingdoms. We're here with our Mateng campaign again. You know, we're still just a second marquee. It's been slow going. It's 211 right now. Mateng's old, but hopefully he will keep on kicking for a good long while, right? That's what we're hoping. We're making a little bit of money, not a ton. Food is relatively stable. We've just taken on Ding here. Now we've got Bachao with a smaller force up there, and then a stack of hunters here recuperating. We're going to want to move down and deal with the Emperor, right? Because we're right now okay with the favor, but, you know, we don't want him to make everybody mad at us. It'd be better to just see if something maybe were to happen to him. Probably a spy. Oh, well, you know, maybe not. She's just, like, really unhappy all the time, right? Yeah. Oh, that's right. We can do another administrator. In that case... like, she's legit, right? Can we... Yeah, she's good. So we can make her the administrator of Onding. But maybe... yeah, because if we throw him there, then it's a little better, but less good for, you know, everybody's happiness. We could save it, but I feel like we throw him, because her happiness is alright right now, but... Alright, so as she levels, we have to go right up to Poison Volley, and then she's basically got most of the good things about being administrator. You know, the bandit sentinels aren't really admins, right? So we won't worry about giving her that job. Whoops. Right, we can assign it this way. There we go. Now we need somebody just so we can send somebody on assignments. This guy will probably be fine. He won't be too upset, right? Wrong. Alright, we'll just give him something to walk around with. That'll really please him. Get him right where he needs to be, at least periodically where he needs to be. And then, alright, it would have been better if he had Filial and Corrupt, but a Commerce Silk and Spice will be very helpful there. Certainly be enough to pay for himself. And we will try to stabilize him later if we can. We have another admin slot? Oh, right, of course. For this one. I can give it to him. He's got a public order hit. Does he have traits that are... yeah, nothing that hurts. It's not, like, great for the job. The trader would be great for the job. We just give her this job. That'll make everybody else happy. Oh no, we already... yes, there we go. Alright. So we have a little bit of money. We could get a better army here, or here. You know, a better army here might be called for. Do we want to give it to her retinue? Or theirs? This would give them the charge bonus. Yeah, so this guy's retinue is the better one, but this guy needs to be the commander.
这里几乎没有人。门外何人？想问点什么？
And this guy has the fast retinue, so we can get them with some hunters as well. And we'll just go into negative-ish territory. I mean, it could be okay with her as well, because she'll eventually be able to get poisoned arrows, but that's like up there. By that point, we'll afford some more. We just need an army over here to dissuade them to be able to skirmish and such. These guys will go up there to deal with that, and we will see if we can get away with all of this. Because if we can get this, even if we could get this group of people to start chilling, we'll take the loyalty thing. You know, would it be worth it after all? Or do we want to just, like, you know, pursue what we've got going on here? All right, so she went across the top, but we'll still be able to get industry and scholarship there. So, and melee evasion's all the way on the end of the tree there. So she actually has, you know, what I would want to take for a fighter rather than somebody else. But I guess, okay, no, it's clerk maybe that has the good traits for building and such. Anyway, we'll work on it. We can just give the job to somebody else and upset her later on, you know, if it becomes necessary. Now, food, yes. Alright, so their forces here. We roll this up.
扬兵千日，用兵一时。承天所助，我军必胜。
We actually should have done that manually, probably, because we actually get very beat up on the generals. But it'll be okay. We're at a good, solid replenishment rate. Alright, so Ma Chao can continue going on up here. They probably don't have big armies up there. Probably. What's the problem? Potentially if they go up there, they interrupt the silk, which is really worth quite a lot. Yeah, we'll go there. So going down this way, though, we can get to in just a turn or two. Do we think all of their good armies are there? Yes. Furthermore, we'll be able to heal all the way up into here, which is fine. I don't think they can get here. We know Lu Ji, my girl, is over there. And importantly, we're still revenue positive since that assignment rang in. Oh, yeah, look, that's a ton of money from that assignment. Definitely important to have that rolling. The silk money finally just being worth a whole lot. As it is here, but even more so, of course. And we can't lean onto the tribal horse breeders there. It's just, you know, it's a lost cause as far as that goes. But things are going okay, hopefully.
众将且于堂前，谈笑欢饮。
Sun Tzu vassalized Yan Shao. Wowza. What? What a tremendous coup for him, huh? We get some relation boost there. Well, at least... Alright, yeah, well, Sun Tzu's at least, like, still over here somewhere. He's not, like, popping the Yuan. Who's not at war with him. Who's not at war with anybody. I'm like, maybe we should be in a coalition with them. No, not anymore. They don't want to be in a coalition with us anymore. Shocking. Shocking, I say. Liu Bei is as unpopular with me with the Emperor. Pretty surprising stuff, but I guess he might have some things going on. Alright, we need to give this guy a title so that he doesn't flip out. And what we can do right now is just come up here and take this silk. And this force is so small. Yeah. We'll just auto it. This is a very tiny garrison. I don't think it's really going to ding us very bad. And it didn't. We grab the silk here, which is great. It's worth a bunch already. I don't think we... Alright, so Lu Ji could theoretically come out here and fight us. And if she wants to, we would 100% beat this army, right? We are very suited to take care of it, and we would just run away from her for a while, and we'd look very smart. Now we're in good shape with the food-ish. We just need to continue on now. If we can't get there in one turn, we'll go ahead and jump there, go to ambush. Maybe one of them will move poorly. And here we're going to see if we can get them to make a mistake here and try to take our silk, and then we will beat this very... Oh, this is our kid. This is Maju. We'll have to be careful not to tell him. You know, we married him off into their family. He's the Iron General there. You know, good for him. He's got a war glaive and everything. He's bright and understanding. He's fulfilled. Oh, he got +10 satisfaction while he was gone. Man, he's got... Look at all these great traits. He's got cheerful and fulfilled now. We married him off for bad satisfaction, and now he's got nothing but amazing traits. He must be very happy indeed, married to the ruling family. But, you know, obviously we'll try to get him back in our faction now if he's going to be happy. But we'll be dropping there. Zuyon, I would love to have, but, you know, it's not a practical way to get it. Long Paishan will just make everybody more upset. This guy's level 8, which is so good, but I wouldn't be able to keep them happy accordingly. That's the sort of trade-off in the late game, right? You gotta know whether or not people will be pleased. If they're like a Vanguard, we have a lot of a bonus to a Vanguard, so we might be able to make it, might be able to swing it. But let's see how we've got it going on here. And let's see if we can keep on dodging these winters. Liu Bei offers to make us their vassal. Now, that would stop all these wars we're in, or it would make him in those wars too. But I don't think we need to do this, right? So we're not going to do it. Also, it would take some of our money. But he's a pal, you know, he's glad for all that has been going on, you know. We still haven't met Cao Cao, which is great. Alright, and now Lu Ji comes in, and she's locked in here with me. Lu Bu is going to be here. Alright, so he showed up. That does provide another wrinkle, doesn't it? Alright, so we've got a good place to skirmish over here, and a bad place to skirmish in the middle. So let's get to it. It's all on the line, right? But it's also, I mean, there's a lot of possibility here if we can win this fight. My girl Lu Ji is here, just waiting to be impressed. We're gonna put a tower like here in case we ever want to come back. And now it's time to... Time to get rockin'.
准备就绪。
All right, time to see what we can do, huh? We don't have fire arrows, which is a real shame, but we do have the ability to just book it away from these fools. We have no particular interest in dealing with them. Let's see how much of this game we learned how to play. All right, all right. And eventually, we'll try to use Hua Linli, her bow, to chip down Lu Bu, of course, who's very, very fast, but not as fast as Ma Teng, due to, you know... due to some funny facets of what's going on the battlefield here. We just need to pull him out this way so that we can shoot. We don't want to get too many shots going off, right? Till we're all over here. And then when we have this side of the battlefield, this is where we're going to feast, you know. This is where we want to fight. It's going to make their reinforcements go all this way. We're fatigue immune, of course. And these mounted Lancer militia are not going to know what hit them, unless they do know what hit them. And they're going to be like, ah, I know exactly what hit me. But they're not going to be able to, like, do anything about it. And that'll be pretty much the same as not knowing. No, Lu Ji, we are not going to accept a duel. Even though I love that about her. We want to save our shot cav for a little bit later here. Alright, we need to get here. We've got our boys and girls on the cavalry in skirmish mode till the opportune moment.
敌军四散而逃，到底是无胆鼠辈。
But by bouncing around here, we're able to pin down a lot of their cavalry with our heroes, getting a good crack upon them. Still in okay shape with the ammo, and of course because they were fleeing across our lines, we actually are able to mop up pretty nicely there. We don't want to leave these Chung hunters in melee too long. Although, we do want to keep their cavalry engaged while we move in here. Working nicely. Go ahead and turn there and there. Run this way. Beautiful stuff. Cav archers, my beloved. This is what we were waiting for this whole playthrough. We finally got it set up, right? We finally can do it. We're going to get skirmish mode off, and we're just going to finish up these guys here, and we're going to allow these mounted saber militia to just get absolutely swarmed. Of course, carving up cavalry before the engagement is just very excellent. And speaking of carving up things, Hua Linli has not used her very excellent ability at all yet. We're going to get right on that. We're going to see if they like apples here. As Hua Linli is shot the explosive shot into the forest. How do they like them apples? Alright, we need to get our boys and girls of the horse away from those units. Oh my goodness, what a great army. Finally I can love them. Finally, I'm using them properly. Of course, Lu Bu's here. That is a problem. And Diao Chen is here, which is a problem too. She's gonna be healing folk, right? She is. That is not ideal. We're gonna give ourselves a big boost there. We've got our evasion maxed up. Of course, it's not 100%. It just says 100%. But we're able to pop those cavalry. We just need to keep moving here, right? We don't want to... We don't want to be in the forest when those spears catch up. We leave just in time. Alright, and we very much need to get out of these spears. Oh no, please say we're all on horses. Alright, we're still all on horses. We're just going to run through them, and it's going to be fine. Lu Bu's here. We very, very much need to get out. Oh no, Lady Du has hit us with the 1-2. We are slowed. Oh, we're in trouble now. I think we're about to get popped. Do we get off of horses? Yes. We've got to take the chance. Dismount and attack Lu Bu. It sounds like it's a bad idea, I know, but it's what we have to do. They have popped while on the. Of course they did. I couldn't get away. I was slowed. I think we lost. I did not appreciate the danger, right? But we need to get some cav in there, or he's going to keep carving them up. If we can get support, we might be fine, right? And our son is doing, like, way too good of a job at fighting us here. We've got to get on Lu Bu. Getting on Lu Ji here. Our guys that are wavering a bit, we want to pull them out as we can. Charge here. The infantry is getting here, right? We are in such bad shape, and we can't get on Lu Bu. Oh man, we need to get back on our horses if we can. Man, well, not every boy thrown to the wolves becomes a hero, right? We did not respect the slow. Lu Bu has made all of them flee. Ma Teng got on his horse, but not Peng De. Peng De, like, his days are over, right? I don't know what he's going to do with the rest of his time, but it's not good. We're losing this campaign, I think. Man, Lu Bu showing up was bad news. I thought we were okay with this secondary army getting him in it, too. Yeah, there's not a... The initial skirmish phase was fine, but yeah, now we're torched. They had too much hero power, right? We didn't have anything to stand up to them, and what we had was out of place because I couldn't run the old 85% slow. But anyway, yeah, that's maybe we should have accepted that deal from Liu Bei. Yeah, this is so rough. Can't do anything. Dao Chan's healing everybody. They're not fatigued. We can't get Peng De over there. The only guy with hands in the whole army. Yep, we lose. And that's the game. I mean, not immediately, but it is, though. And I thought that I wanted this fight. Shows what I know, right? Shows what I know. I really thought it was just going to be fine. But I mean, Lu Bu. They did a surprise Lu Bu recruitment. Are we going to get to escape, though? Maybe. Alright, maybe they're going to let us escape. So they march back that way. And we can besiege the pass here, right? And then retreat backward into our land. Because the pass is besieged. Yes. Alright. And then this brave army. I'm like, well, maybe I should have stayed in range to reinforce, huh? No, we gotta get out of there. We'll move here, where they'll be able to... I mean, we could beat the Lu Bu stack, maybe. Definitely we'll be able to retreat. Alright, yeah. So, you know, it's not nearly as bad as it could be. It's a hit. Did we lose any of our cool stuff? No, we got our weapons still. Maybe they took one of the nice horses, but we'll just get another one on, right? Man, rough stuff. But not as bad as it could have been, right? And hey, at least now we know where Lu Bu is. I know you're saying, how is that a good thing? Well, it isn't. But now we know. Alright, and apparently it's going to make me do this myself. That's alright. Let's get to it. I guess it's a bunch of guys with shields and cavalry, which theoretically matches up well against me. But in point of fact, what it does is let me run right through. And we got roars and various flaming shots there, so we'll be able to roll in here. Oh yeah, they did the funny thing where they go invisible and then you stop running at them. Now they do have caltrops here. That's not ideal, but if you just run through them, all that happens is that you've run through them, and now they're not there anymore, right? And sure, Ma Chao maybe took like 1 billion damage doing it, but now we're in. We're gonna drop all of their evasion and such down now. Fast forward a little bit here, now that we're on the inside. Hit him with the roar here, and of course now... Oh, these are special infantry captains. Sorry. But, you know what they can't do? Very much against our cav archers, as we will just charge into them if they try. And we've got cool souped up flames, and of course our decreased cooldown of abilities from broad knowledge. Very nice indeed. Letting our aggressive roar in flames based playstyle do better than ever. We're gonna charge into these Sabre militia here. And now we can certainly speed it up a little bit, as they will not be too happy. Since there are no spears on the battlefield, there's no real, like, blunder chance. I say, there's always a chance to blunder, but I think we're fine here. Hit him with the old big flames. And we break this unit, and they should army loss, I imagine. Not too much left on the field of the battle. Oh, well, one more round of it, I guess. We had a couple of roar breaks earlier. Of course, if you're not doing the morale damage for it when they come back, they won't remember why they ran, and you'll have to teach them all over again. So I'm getting a little bit beat up here. Let's call her back some. And hit these cav with the old double swords dance. That'll show them. And now, certainly, that will be the end of the foe. You know, certainly. You know, if we had taken the flag, it probably would have been. We'll do that now. It'll probably be this unit, actually. Boom. Please don't make me a liar. No, they've made me a liar. We're going to take the flag. Now, they'll definitely have to run. Unless they don't. They'll definitely have to run. Close victory. It really could have gone either way.
Luan军终于得以平息。还是有些用处的。唯有扫清。
Look at our son smiling there. He did so good against us. Well, we know Lu Bu doesn't have Dragon's Gaze yet, but he might well get it next turn. I guess while Li and Lu Bu and all of them actually get along quite well, you know, he considered it well fought and all that. Do we get more here? Do we get more here? This army might need to back up. And maybe we'll get like a commerce split next time and figure out if that increases silk or not. Hopefully it will. Yeah, so they still don't want us to have peace, but you know, we'll Of course, if we really needed to mess them up, we could always like go under the vassalization of somebody else, you know, just to just to be really annoying to our foe. Alright, so how's this play out? Perfect. They just hung out. Lu Ji moved up. Lu Bu's still there, but that's going to allow us to retreat. It's going to give us that all-important one turn. Han Sui perishes for this army to get a little stronger.
扫平乱贼，澄清四海。
We go here and go to ambush.
原地候命。
If they move too far forward, to try to catch him, or if they move in here to take the spice, well,
有必要吗？
like maybe we should have stayed within the spice range. Yes, we'll go here within
向前进军。
the range, and then maybe we'll be able to get them into. But they have to be able to replenish there. That's the most important thing. And watch how we're just gonna ignore Shuofeng, right? And if they come in from that direction later, then they'll have to recruit an army up there, and you know that'll be annoying for them. Go right here. We're gonna stay not in ambush. So that they can see us here. And maybe that'll dissuade them from moving forward. It's annoying to get up to Wudu, so we know they're not going to be able to do it around us that easily. They kind of have to take Shangui first, but we're just going to, you know, make it difficult for that to happen. Faction Council, we can make Sun Tzu's life unpleasant, and that's what we'll do. It's worth the 500. Bonus for cavalry and stuff, so the fatigue doesn't matter, but the charge speed and the charge bonus very well might, and it's just 200, so we will pay that. And here we get 15% campaign movement range, which is, you know, there's very few things in the game as important as how far your armies can move. Very few things important in military history at all as how far an army is able to move. And it looks like Lu Ji has fallen victim to one of the classic blunders. She has walked right into this attack, or rather right into these armies, and said, I want to fight him. Lu Bu is besieging the silk merchants town, so he's not actually helping out here. So this is going to give us an excellent opportunity to use this fresh army to beat him down, and maybe capture Lu Ji and get her to join me. Maybe, you know, maybe a man can dream. We got big open range, beautiful. And of course, in a level, she'll have the one, the only. The poison volley. But right now, she doesn't. And we just need to make sure that the more beat up of our forces, just, you know, spend some time hanging out, you know, just hang out and be cool. But here, we're just charging right across this way. Just very pleased to have them following us while we shoot in Parthian retreat across at them. And, of course, the big guy and all of the other guys showing up to say hello. We're going to go ahead and spring across there, hit him with a roar, hit him with one of these, and a rear charge from the Qiang hunters on this direction, while this group swings in, and of course they barely know what hit them there. It's a hard rain gonna fall They felt really good about that previous battle, but really, you know, us, you know, we finally, all right, we're taking this fight. Yeah, we're taking this fight. Hualin Li can definitely beat her. She's like an unarmored folk. She, you know, maybe, yeah, we'll be fine. She's bolder than she ought to be. And, you know, they're of equal social standing as well, so totally fair. Speaking of equal social standing, Lu Ji is here. We need to attack her post-haste. We need to get Ma Teng out of there. She hits real hard. She, of course, is much too beat up to want to duel anything, but she's not going to be able to get out of this. She's got resilience, so we're not worried about her getting popped or anything. Obviously, we would never do anything to jeopardize the safety of our girl there. Oh, they hit us with the old 1-2. Well, you know, at least even with her abilities down, her opponents aren't juiced up. And we're confident Hualin Li is going to end up the duel with a pretty good spot all around. And these two guys only have Final Rush. That's okay. You know, that's alright. We're going to go ahead and swing these fellows up around this way. You know, it feels good when we outnumber them. Oh, wow, man, she really almost got there, huh? Man, she really almost got there. I was surprised. I thought we were going to be fine. But you know, I underestimated her. But we got out of there. We got out of there alive. I think, you know, they did tank my my evasion for a long time with that ability. That didn't help any. But hey. Ends up working out, and we're going to charge in here. Dao-chan. And of course, we have all of the Qiong hunters that anyone's heart could desire here, just having a party. And here we absolutely are going to prey on them as they try to flee. Just gonna be carving up all that we can because they are in our territory now, unless Lu Bu moves from his besieging AI to otherwise. But if they're locked into we do sieges AI, then we'll be in good shape because that is of course going to let us heal up over the intern, come in and pop their army. Couldn't have happened to some nicer people. No, I like Lu Bu. I just don't like it whenever he shows up all of a sudden and says, "Oh, bonjour, bonsoir, my name is Lu Bu, do not pursue." But we got him. We got him, because he's not here. And we will get him next turn. And not having to worry about them just like churning through our land. Very good too, right? You know, it's nice that Dong Zhuo's got more reasonable AI. Boom, and throw a wound there. Blessed day! Truly a star shines upon this hour. My girl, my heart. Lu Ji, my beloved. Of course you will join my faction. Yes, yes, yes. This is the greatest day of my life. This campaign is gonna be fine now. You guys will all see. It is gonna work. And she's got the yellow-hoofed thunder, so an awesome horse to go with my awesome girl. Huzzah! It doesn't matter what happens now. It doesn't matter what happens now. It's all going to be fine. You'll see. The looters come in and take our horse pasture, as was foretold. Oh, how wonderful. Now the first thing we have to do is make sure she's a happy girl. Hello, Luigi. She's at 47 now, but we'll lose some of that. All right, she's got faction fondness, so she's got like some stuff that makes her like us a little bit better. 47's not like problem low. We'll just want to keep an eye on it, of course. We won't need to worry about giving her any better stuff. Now, what army do we put her in? Because we very obviously are going to put her into an army, like, right away. She gives 15% replenishment, which is nuts. Well, you know, Peng De doesn't need to be in this army. Peng De can very comfortably be in another army. And that's where he's going to go. Now, they are marching up this way, which is just an awesome choice. Just like a really, really good... Just a really good choice. Now, if we go here... Could go to ambush and maybe catch him out really nicely. Because Lu Bu's army is super beat up, and he went to march. Yeah, so they're in bad shape here. And if they want to move up here to try to take that, then Ma Chao will be in perfect position to go ahead and hit him. Now here, we will move here. Dao Chan's army's in march, so we'll be able to roll him up and maybe recruit her for all we know. We know she comes with a filial and incorrupt, so that would be a good assignment to throw out. Get done. Yes, 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 yes. There we go. And she's brilliant. I don't know if she's always brilliant. I don't think so, but she is now. And, yeah. Good stuff. Wonderful. Perfect. And she's Oathsworn with Lu Ji, so we very well might just roll them into an army, right? Zhao Chen, Lu Ji, and do we have a son here anymore? No, we got rid of all them. Because she's actually quite happy here, right? Yeah, she doesn't have any... She doesn't have any traits that make her unhappy. And having Brilliant is, of course, very, very super excellent. And while we could use her for Filial and Incorrupt, I mean, we also could use Scion for that. But, so... Look, the simplest thing to do would be to just yank these two out and inject Lu Ji and Dao Chen into this army, right? But we can pull her out. Put Peng De in there, and then her and Lu Ji and Dao Chen can roam around, and that will be an awesome squad of powerful ladies, right? And that'll be real fun. So that maybe that'll be the plan that we go for eventually. We have to make it happen, of course, first. We'll wait until we get a little bit more of a position to make it happen. Now, Ma Chao, he's not going to retreat. He's going to fight. So we might as well start recruiting. No, we'll do it next turn. Next turn's fine. Well, this war is surely going okay. And in the event that they muster armies up here and move out and take these lands in the north, if we just have, like, an army of the north, we'll be able to respond to that. I mean, eventually. Man, I'm so pumped about this. Y'all know Lu Ji is my favorite. And you know, and we got her. Now, they didn't go across the top. That's okay. That's fatigue resistance, which we don't need. Really, and scare, and then that. So actually, going across the bottom here is just fine because reach is good if she's going to command the army. Go up to there, and then you know, Rage Lu Ji, which is just such a good ability, and then we'll go across the bottom to fight on the battlefield. Which, I mean, I guess, you know, getting the reserves from Wisdom might just be as good as these things up at the top, right? So no problems there. Good stuff. Feels so good. Sure, every campaign's can I get Lu Ji City? No, we didn't even turn her into spy, you know. We got her the old-fashioned way. Meeting her on the battlefield and impressing her. Alright, this guy's level 1, so he almost certainly doesn't have any elephants. And he's also probably a spy. Which is a real shame. We can get him, because that sword is worth 1,000 anyway. He's not a spy. And Liu Zhong actually has quite good... Yeah, 50% food production is, like, totally decent. It's not, like, what you write home about, but it's real good. I don't think we want to grab her, because I think she's a spy. But, yeah, so, awesome, wonderful, and in all other ways, very good. Here, if we move to the pass, Lu Bu comes to reinforce the pass, and then we fight there, which is fine. Well, we need to get... we don't need to get the army set up, but every turn that we wait too long is a turn that's too long. But we can spin her out next turn. Keep Pengde in the original army, right? And then just have the new army of our illustrious daughter and the others. Well, you know how the fortunes change. Because although Lu Bu is real scary, Lu Ji, too, is very scary. But not to me. She fills my heart with promise, you know. Like, Lu Ji is to me the promise of a brighter future and a glorious tomorrow. Liu Kong wants a non-aggression pact. Yeah, buddy, sure. Like, I seriously doubt we're going to be fighting them anyway. Oh, and now Yuan Shao has been commanded to join the war against us. That's not so good. And we get -10 public order to the local commandery. That's not so good either. Now this army actually has to get back up here to put down a rebellion in a turn or two. They're in ambush over here somewhere. It's okay that they are, because I know they're here. Ma Teng is tanking the public order there. I'm like, what do you mean local characters? Well, you know, they're unhappy where he is at. But we go in here. We're a little beat up still, but not in a way that's a super big problem. We don't have any siege weapons, but we'll be able to stop them from replenishing at least. And continue here. If they sally out, then we'll have a nice field battle. We're mainly in good shape, and we'll be able to fight them. You know, it's Lu Bu, but we have like a bunch of people as long as he doesn't have huge reinforcements. And I just strongly feel that his main force is over here somewhere. Do we march? Yes. So we don't need the replan. The other force is not over here. I don't think so. No, they would have to ford the river. They were like over here, right? So I think they're just like right in here, trying to catch me. But they won't catch me. No, they won't. And now, of course, it's time for the to the next beautiful chapter to commence. Now, Lu Ji will just drop her whole retinue, right? And Dao Chan, since she's got the cunning, will go ahead and grab these here. This will put us upside down a little bit, but not like an insurmountable amount. We'll be able to go upside down in this amount of the economy for more than 10 turns. And anything you can do for more than 10 turns is basically, you can kick the can down the road forever on that, right? There's plenty of things that you might be able to do to pull yourself out before that would be a problem. We'll go here for the pure money, because the corruption one, well, no, that would help adjacent commanderies eventually. We'll take the longer view. Since our tech tree is all over the place, we might actually be able to usefully interact there. Now, this army, good stuff. Now, Lu Ji will have to be the commanding general. She's got the reach, you know? She's got the power. She is the moment. The Blood Dragon. My girl. My beautiful girl. Alright, so here we take... Yeah, we take the Great Axe. We give her the ceremonial axe, you know, of all of the abilities to let her know how much she means to me, how much she'll always mean to me. And the Book of Ambush Stuff for Dao Chan. Alright. Now, how close are we to leveling up the faction? We are very far, but things are finally looking up. Satisfaction has been mostly modified into an alright spot due to long work and a lot of titles being tossed around. But, you know, we're making a little bit of money here, right? We're finally getting some stuff on the up and up. Here, we don't want to mess with the Silk Road Trader until we can do a little more. All right, but once we pop these armies and take Chang'an, question mark? I mean, that is what we're posturing towards. And now both of these armies will be here, and I think they'll be having a really, really rude awakening there. All right, so who do we use for the third one? I'm like, no, he does not have elephants. Well, we need to drop her out of this one and put her into Ma Chao's army is the answer. So we'll just drop them over there next turn, and that'll be just fine. Because this army is, like, enough to dissuade people from wanting to come over and fight. We might grab this fellow. But he is greedy. You gotta check the stats, right? You gotta see if they're gonna... If there's a reason we've got access to him in the pool, right? You know, like this guy is so handsome that it makes people, you know, intimidated by him. He's level 8. He used to be part of the looters, I see. But we'll see what happens over the end turn here. Might have a big battle here. I'm hoping that Gao Shun's force will walk into these two. We'll be able to roll them up and then pierce in and see what we can do to the Emperor. Also, because we've been doing a lot of defensive battles, although this one wouldn't be one because of the ambush we're in. Well, you know, if we get declared an enemy of the Han at this point, how long's that going to last? How long's the Han going to last? Ambush succeeded. Beautiful stuff. So we catch him out. Oh, I should have done... Well, no, we wanted the reinforcements. We didn't want a night battle. So what we're doing here is maybe messing up some by doing it. But look, I have to learn how to fight ambushes. If I don't, then I'll never know, right? Like, Daochan should really be... Oh, there's not a lot of space over there, is there? No, we should be doing this over, like, here, huh? And we can run out this way. Alright, fire at will. He wants to duel Lu Ji, who will accept. And we're just going to charge into these cav here and hit him with the swords dance and hope that that charge that... Oh, man, they hit us with the old negative evasion, didn't they? Oh, man. Rough stuff. So they're smarter than I am, and Lu Ji got snake trapped. But it's alright. She's very strong, and we can probably beat a Sentinel. You know, they popped their ability. I should have saved mine. But now he's on his horse here. We're going to get off of our horse and see if we can beat him down real quick. You know, did we catch him out well enough? Lu Ji is, of course, doing beautifully. And I think it's working. We're going to do the splash damage ability. Maybe we shouldn't have. We want to run Daochan out of there. We don't want to take a bunch of unnecessary damage. Oh, yeah, look at that. Man, she is really giving him the work. Lu Ji emerges victorious. Gao Shun is trying to get away. He can't get away. She is like on him. She is quick. Boom, and we pop him. Time to get back on the horse. Fire at will there. And she has not gotten back to her horse. We're just going to use her ability and see if these fools want to fight, right? She's got terror. So, you know, if you think about it, they're locked in here with me. And I think we'll be okay. We just need to move these over this way. Continue running there. Get all of these arrows. We don't need fire arrows. We need good old arrows with more armor piercing on them for that application. We're going to be laying the beat down there. Lu Ji is having a party over here. You know, she's not worried in the slightest about all of this. I didn't need to worry about her. Sure she's surrounded, but I mean, I do want to worry about her though. I was just kidding. We're not leaving her. You know, it's not who we are. I would never leave my girl behind. And speaking of, the reinforcements are here! Sion, she's here to break the extravagant hold. Lu Ji says, what took you so long? We come in, we're gonna drop the wisdom of the river. And they're all gonna be running for the hills. They're all gonna be running for their life. Sion, just so brave, running right in. And of course, you know, Ma Chao's ready for it too. Dao Chan wants to get over here. And a beautiful ambush. You know, see, we were right to do it. You just don't want to get your guys stuck, right? You wanna do the ambush on your terms. And we want to get back over to Yellow Hoofed Thunder here. And between Sion and Daochan, we are doing a whole lot of abilities all the time. You know, Hualin Li would love that. Let's get involved here. Speaking of things Hualin Li would love, she would love us getting rid of these heavy cavalry that are beating on the Xiong hunters. I know Momsy would love that. And of course, it's a whole different world once you get Lu Ji into your faction. A whole fantastic point of view that you can have about how the future of China now looks a little rosier, you know, just a little sunnier. A little more like maybe nothing can stand in your way. Want to join up, Gaoshun? Water's fine over here. No, it's not. Alright, and now he wants a non-aggression pact with us. He's a bandit. However, he's not really close to me. And the last thing I want right now is more people declaring on me. Zhang Liao has now been moved into that army, which actually is to my benefit, right? Because... Hey, Hasali, how are you? I watched that Celeste video you were telling me about. It was you, right? The meme video that the person, like, built a task for. Oh, man, I laughed so hard. It was good stuff. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, it had me laughing out loud, for real. It was pretty funny stuff. It's like so impressive with like the task movement and then, you know, the humor of it as well. Good stuff. I love a good high effort meme, right? Alright, so Zhang Liao is here. We need to deal with this rebellion. Doing it with Ma Chao's army doesn't feel perfect, but, you know, we've got to get him out there. Also, she is no longer happy enough. Why not? Oh, from faction discontent. Because of the Emperor being mad at us? Because of the Emperor being mad at us. Well... Said, wonder if it was religious editing. From what I could tell, they built a mod and then they built a tool-assisted speedrun for that mod. But that's what I think they did. They might have used like a pre-existing mod to give her, you know, her extra hair color. I'm sure there's all sorts of mods that I'm not familiar with. Yeah. So we get -6 satisfaction from that. We can just give her a better dog. Give her this Jade Horseman. That barely helps. It keeps her right at yellow, which is, you know, something. Mateng is too far from getting another bonus, I think. Man, the favor's rough. But, you know, we might just go knocking on the Emperor's door and say, hey, hello, good sir. We've been trying to reach you about your Empire's extended warranty. We're concerned that you don't understand the gravity of what's going on here. You know, that kind of thing. We're just gonna keep on making, you know, siege towers some threat, right? We're gonna keep on making battering rams. That'll be funny. Because every turn Lu Bu is locked in here. You know, he's locked in here. That's what we need. And this is their other army. As far as we know, it's in March. We're gonna crack it. We're still gonna have our replenishment as we move forward. Very excellent stuff. But we're going to go ahead and do the battle, I think. Yeah, I think if we do the battle, we can do much better than the auto-resolve will give us. I think it'll favor Zhang Liao against us, whereas we're going to be able to swarm him. Hazley says, is this game closer to Mountain Blade or Paradox games? Sort of in the middle, I would say. Because on the upper level of the world map, you know, you're building things, you're recruiting armies and stuff. But here, on this layer, we actually control our armies by unit and sometimes by hero here. So our army is like step archers, largely. So unlike many of the armies in the game where you'd have, you know, spears and archers and stuff, we are almost entirely people of the bow and the horse here, which is going to make our enemies really upset because it's a headache to deal with, and I love that. So exactly. So it's a strategy level thing, and then it's a battle simulator, which I'll show you right now. So it starts out, and you know they're arrayed across the battlefield here. And so we're going to move our cav archers over on the flank here, but yeah, so we can move each individual unit, and they're all modeled, right? So each of... I'm like, do we have a... Yeah, slow motion. Like, so each of them are modeled here, and they've got their bows, and they've got their glaives, and each of the enemy units, you know, there's 100 or whatever guys, and they're all shooting... And, like, when you get into melee, you know, like, they line up and stuff. There are duels between commanders and stuff. It's very awesome. And we're taking way more damage than I wanted to take from that tower. But we're just going to go and burn it down real quick. Because what we want to do is pull them away from their safe spot there. Towers are actually really good in this game, but they burn down quick enough. Yeah, and of course you can also, if you want, you don't have to do any of these battles. Some people don't. I love the battles. Like, you can auto-resolve a lot of them, you know. I don't auto-resolve all of them. Sometimes if it'll be, like, frustrating... Or, you know, just depending on what's going on in your campaign, you know, sometimes you might choose to, wow, look at them all routing there. They cannot put up with the archery fire. They can't do it, you know. That's what it comes down to. Zhang Liao wants to duel Lu Ji. I shouldn't do it. Oh, but I want to, though. I just want to, though. No, I'm not going to. I want to pretend to be smart. So, I happen to know this guy is a very good duelist. My person's very good too. So this is set in like a romantic period of Chinese history. So most of the people that are here are real people, but like it's like a fantastic version of them, right? In a lot of ways. Although there's also like good historical records about them. But we're playing in a mode where we're closer to heroes than people. Where you know, we're all a bunch of legends here. What we're gonna do is charge in at Zhongliao here, get off of our horses, and then beat him down. That's the way to do it. When you're not on your horse, you get him down a lot earlier, and it looks like actually he's about to break anyway, because his whole army's running away. Boom, boom, boom. And now he is running. That's all there is to it. But no, I have quite a good time taking over all of China here. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played this faction before, but as part of it, you know, like you can get other people into your faction. You just see if you can fight yourself. That's the dream, right? There's another game series set in this time period by Konami, I think, called Dynasty Warriors, which is where a lot of people would know these characters from. And it's like a hack and slash, right? Like, you run around and you're controlling the blade as you swing it at your thousands of foes. If there was a button that let you do that in this game, in addition to all the other stuff, I think, you know, that would be everything. But it's still a lot of fun, and you know, like you can individually. So like the commanders in the army, I'm on what's called romance mode. The book's called Romance of the Three Kingdoms. So there's romance and records, right? Because there's the records of the kingdoms, and then the romantic version that's in the opera and all that. Think of micromanaging? Well, this is a lot of micromanaging. So like, if I tell like my spears to go that way, no matter how dumb it is, they're gonna do it. Like your troops can really obey your orders too well in this game. All right, and here we're gonna be able to roll all the way in. If Lu Bu tries to roll backwards at us, then we'll just beat him up. This is Lu Ji. This is his daughter here. She's like my favorite. She starts this other faction, but so there's this other aspect, right, where. Say, isn't this entire era of Chinese history possibly mythological? Not this one. This one is like ironclad, definitely happened. There are tons of records about it. This is called the Three Kingdoms era. This would have happened. The start of this playthrough is in 190 Common Era AD. We would call it in the West. You know, depending on whether or not you're in college. But so like they have really quite good records about all of this. It's just there was a book written in like 13 or 1400 about all these guys, and think of it like how Shakespeare wrote Julius Caesar. Same sort of general vibe, only way more so. So there's lots of heroic stories about them from there, but this guy that I'm playing as, Ma Teng was absolutely a real man. We know a whole lot of things that happened in his life. You know, we know the names of lots of his children. We know you know, where he was in the year 194, definitely. And that's one really cool thing about this, is getting to sort of play with these personalities and historical figures and sort of, you know, do what might have been, you know, like what if these two guys could have gotten along, you know, what if these two bitter enemies would have just not fought each other, you know, what could have turned out, that kind of thing. A lot of fun. But one great aspect of the game, and probably my favorite, is like how you can recruit generals when you fight enemies. Like, so Lu Ji here, my favorite character, she's not in my faction. I fought her, and then she was like so impressed that she joined up. And Diao Chen here, they were in this faction. So as you fight, you can get more people. You can have spies. I don't really know much about the spying, but you can send them out to mess with other people's factions. Dynasty before Xia. Yeah. So Xia would have been like a while before all of this, right? This is post Han, and the Han is very well attested as one of the longest ranging dynasties in the history of China. It was nigh on 400 years, if memory serves, that the Han were around a long, long, long time.
承天所助，我军
But
必胜。
to this day, people in China go like to the grave of Cao Cao, one of the great figures of the era, and sort of like the boogeyman, right? He had some disease, a brain tumor perhaps, but he suffered from terrible headaches. And people to this day go to the shrine at his grave and leave him headache medicine, you know, so that his head won't hurt in the afterlife. Yeah, I don't have like a super extensive knowledge of Chinese history. I had exactly one class in college. I took like a Chinese history course, but it was like a broad spectrum of things. It wasn't just in this time period. And in fact, didn't actually include this time period. It was after it. But what I know of this is mainly just from playing the game and then like talking to people and you know, viewers school me about stuff. All right, so what we want to do here is move in this direction. Try to take this land, maybe? Yeah, just to cut them off from that side. Will they get peace with us? They actually would. Oh, they've left their... They fragmented their whole alliance because we've been beating them up so bad, and they would accept peace with us. However, we can grab the Emperor, and then we can get rid of the Emperor, and then the Emperor can't get mad at us for all the stuff that we're doing. Miniatures, European, Russian, and Middle Eastern stuff. Yeah. Well, you know, everywhere tends to teach more just about like their immediate neighbors or their cultural influences and stuff. You know, like in high school, there was definitely not a lot of focus put on this. Like, I don't know if we ever talked about these guys in like AP World History, but teach a lot about Seljuk, Safavids, and other empires in the place. Well, you know, that's still very important. Like, a lot of people don't get like. A lot of Americans, I'm an American, of course, but a lot of Americans don't know like very much about like the Mongolian conquest or anything like that, and I find the Mongols very fascinating and always have had a huge interest in all of that, which of course they were very, very successful, which that's why I took the Chinese history class that I took, because it was going to cover the Yuan dynasty, which is when the Mongols took over. That's what they chose to call themselves. But, yeah, you know, there's some element of personal interest, but a whole lot of what we learn about the world, right, is seen through the lens of not what we might find the most interesting, but what the people that are in charge of telling us what to pay attention to want us to see, which can be, you know, very, very interesting, right? Because sometimes what they think is interesting and what I think is interesting isn't exactly the same. Mongols painted in a very bad light there. That's not surprising. See, this is the thing about like liking somebody in history that's a violent empire that conquered a huge portion of the world. So like anywhere that the Mongols took over is probably going to hate the Mongols, right? And that makes sense. It does. Look, if the Mongols happened like 20 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair being like, wow, it's so cool that they took over the world. Like, that's me separated through history, looking at it very dispassionately. Like, I'm not gonna like sit here and say the Mongols are good guys. I just think they're very cool. You know, like, I think how they rose from basically a nobody in the steppe tribes to taking over the world is just fascinating. Temujin himself, I think, is very interesting. The Emperor wants me to be at peace with Yuan Shao. Well, you know, I have ever desired peace with him. But, you know, I totally get it when people are like, the Mongols are really bad. I'm like, yes, I agree they were really bad. They say we took over Rome over Vandals a few days ago. Well, those are the Huns, which are... Oh, now we're really getting into it. So the Huns were, you know, that was like 800 years before the Mongolians, right? Ish. and they probably came, I think, and a lot of other people think, this isn't like my idea, but there is a war between the steppe tribes, the Xiongnu, and which was like a loose conglomeration of a ton of tribes, and the Han for like a really long time. And then one thing led to another, and the steppe tribes sort of got pushed out a bit. And a lot of people think that some of these tribes that were around China in this exact time period, or right before, were actually the precursors to the Huns that went over and ravaged Europe. So it's really, because the Mongolians are a whole different tribe, but they're from the same part of the world. But because the Turkic tribes in Central Asia range from, you know, the Ural Mountains all the way through the steppe for a super long time. And the Mongolians were just one of the more minor tribes until the Great Khan came along. This is some of my favorite stuff. But again, like I always say, I know they're bad. I just think it's very cool. I love horse archers. I think guys riding horses and shooting bows is objectively a very excellent way to do things. And like I'm all for it. And here we're going to show up with Lu Ji. I don't want to do this battle because I don't want to siege. So we're not going to. We're just going to auto it. And this is our son here. This is Ma Jiu, our boy. So we married him off to the faction leader over here. They said you have a lot of unpopular and probably untrue stuff about history news. Not well. We all have the stuff that we want to think about the way the world works, right? There's some stuff about history that I'm not willing to give up. You know, like, oh no. Okay, so we can't dodge the attack because we're not agile and coordinated. There's a would-be assassin, so we have to stand still and get hit. Is this going to kill me? It better not. A serious, non-fatal wound. He'll be back next turn. That's fine. He'll get better. Alright, so we are so close from being declared an enemy of the Han. And you know what that means. I'm not so sure the Han need an emperor. Oh, I'm not so sure they do. Because if he's not willing to see things my way... well, who's to say we need one? I don't think we need one. Do we move Ma Chao towards it? Yeah, we'll abandon this over here, taking the Emperor and ridding ourselves of this troublesome problem. Will certainly be better. The most zoomed out you can get is right here. So, like, this is all taking place in my little corner of China, and this is my land right here. And then, so all of this is on the map. But yeah, this is as far up as we go. So this represents, you know, like the steppes up here with Mongolia and stuff above here. And then the border of the map ends right here before we get into what is today the nations of Korea, locked in war as they are. But, you know, so we started this at 190 up here because Ma Teng is, you know, he's historically from this region, and we just start out here. And so the game, you know, you start out with just a couple guys and a little army, and then you try to progressively get stronger. Or you start as some faction that starts with a whole ton of stuff, but then, you know, maybe you have a lot of enemies, that kind of thing to deal with. All right, Lu Ji gets her rage on. My beautiful girl. Just getting stronger all the time. In a couple of turns, we'll be ready to roll. Those regions historically inaccessible or just limited on the game's scope. The regions north of the steppes here, that's really just beyond the game's scope. All of these, it's really just beyond the scope. So, like, here in the jungles here are what they call the Nanmen tribes in this era, or what's categorized that way. Whether or not they really existed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And in this game, they have, like, tigers and elephants. It's very cool. Obviously, they didn't really use tigers. But, you know, and it's hard to get in there. And this would have been, you know, like this, like, where the island of, like, Macau? Is that how you say it? Macau? I don't know how to say it. But that island there, and then, so like what we would think of as, like upper Vietnam, Thailand and stuff, that's over in this direction. And people definitely lived there at this time, but it's sort of like, that's not where these people ever went. Because this game is the story of the Three Kingdoms, which have all these warlords here, but right here there's like quite a big mountain range, right? And up here there's steppe tribes. This is Mongolia, what we would call Mongolia today, up here, where there's a lot going on, but none of these people that have characters in the games really, ruled, and that's why it ends there. They do have mods that put Korea in, because Korea, this area here, what we would call Korea today, of course, back then it was the various kingdoms that were precursors to the Korean states. Anyway, intern. But it's a really fun game. There's lots of different Total War games. So like the only other one I play is called Total War Warhammer, which is like a fantasy place, right? Which is more like sort of like it's hard to describe what Warhammer fantasy is like. It's like Lord of the Rings, but weirder. It's every fantasy trope taken up, just dialed all the way up. But that's the one that I have the most background in. But I like the people in this time period as well, quite a lot. One of them, so he's not in this faction. He's called Guan Yu, the God of War they call him. He's a Buddhist bodhisattva, and he's like a big deal. You'll find him on the wall at Chinese restaurants all across America. Sounds like a joke, it isn't. Take this commerce focus. That'll be very good indeed. Oh, actually it isn't. It puts us further negative. It does not increase the silk, I don't think. Well, maybe it does. Well, you know. But we are in some bad shape, but we are finally... Alright, so we're neutral on food. The Emperor is very mad at us, but he is not going to have very long to be mad, right? He's about to start keeping a civil tongue in his head when he talks to us. And we will induce him to do that right about now. We can't do the fight right now because we don't have any siege. And do you have any 20th century Total War games? I don't think they go that far forward. I think as far as they go, they have like a Napoleon era game. I think that's about as far forward as it goes. But they have like a Rome game, they have like a British Empire game, they have a medieval game, they have one called Shogun that's set in Japan. They have Shogun and Shogun 2. They have Attila, which is set, in the time of Attila the Hun. They have a Pharaoh game, a Troy game, which is, sort of a meld between the historical and the fantastic. But more so than this, because most of the people we're looking at here are definitely real, whereas the people in the Trojan War, well, it's a lot more up in the air. But it's been quite some time since a new historical game has come out. They'll be releasing another one day soon. Attila might burn down Rome. Yes, he certainly might. He has a way of being a problem for anyone he runs into, doesn't he? But yeah, but they're announcing some new games in this series soonish, because the Total Warhammer games have been 3 different games. They're very successful. Well, I mean, I think they're successful. But we're going to break the Emperor out next turn. And by break the Emperor out, well, Attila is still a common name where you live. That's awesome. That is so cool. I love it. If I met somebody named Attila, I would want to shake their hands so much. I would be like, oh, it's so good to finally meet you. I know that the Magyar people, I think that's how you say it, of Hungary claim to be descended from them. They're very proud of it, in fact. I mean, not like to the man and woman, but like in general. As far as I know. Here's our technology tree. Now we need to get If we go this way, yeah, we get better industry buildings. We need to get some of that. Oh, there he is. Whoopsie daisy. Well, it's okay. It's fine. Gaoshun is up there. But maybe we can make something work here, right? Cao Cao vassalizes Guangzhou. I do my best with these names. I'm saying all of them a little bit wrong. I'm saying some of them very wrong. But I do my best. Sun Tzu. It's probably soon. It's definitely soon. I know it is. I can only practice a few guys' names at a time. All right. Ma Chao gets raided. All right. Disease? What? That's bad news. Oh, here at the, well, that's all right then. So here, we're just going to auto this, right? Yeah. Because doing it would make me miserable. And they're not going to be able to punish us for it. Total War Attila's, yeah, it's like, what, like 20 years old? It's been a while since there's been a historical one. This one came out in like 2019. And now the Han Empire is our vassal. And we're probably going to get some wars declared against us. But hey, not that many. Alright, well, now we're in control of the Emperor. And we can rank up. Yes, yes, finally. Finally. Do I know if the game still holds up? There are people on the Total War subreddit that still absolutely swear by Attila. They're kind of some old grown-yards, some old grumblers, but they swear by it still. What we want to do here is get, what? An assignment. Trade agreement. We might be able to get, I mean, it's a little late in the game for it, right? One more spy just to really let us bother somebody. Couple more admin. Yeah, seems fine. We get Marquis, which now lets us be in military alliances and stuff, and gives us more spots in the place. We'll make Dao Chan the Grand Tutor. And the Saboteur, like, what personality traits does she have? Stalwart, indecisive, and vigilant. Well, okay, so decreases ambition for independence as an admin. That's just what we need. We can give her... we could give her the pass, I guess, but we're going to give her Chang'an. We're going to move Ma Yunlu over to Grand Director because Lu Ji will become the Grand Commandant. Oh, my beautiful girl. Ah, she's the greatest. This stream goes up to 1440p. Well, good. Glad to hear that it's working well. All right, so here with Sion, we go across the top for flaming shot. No, we go range damage. That's much more important. Much more important. Beautiful. Oh yeah, look at that. 60 listed damage. That's so good. Oh man, this army's finally gonna turn on. Alright, and now we have the Imperial City. And I just need the Emperor to not run away for one turn so I can give him the chop. Right? So we can give him the old chop. And that's just what it sounds like. We're going to get rid of him. This guy wants another job. We can give him... Oh, he's on an assignment. Alright, so she can get... Just give her the administrative abilities. We can give him a better title, right? Is there one? I'm like, all of those are too lofty. He doesn't deserve any of them. Earth Dragon, like, what? Patrol Commander's not good enough for him anymore? I mean, it isn't. Why is he upset now? He just levels up and he wanted another job. He just wants a job. Well, if he'll stay for one turn, then we'll bring him back from assignment. And give him a job as the administrator of the pass. That'll please him. That'll let him know what a valued guy he was. Oh, our food is super low. That's what's happening. We need to downgrade here. And then next turn our food will be fine, I think. Oh, hey, Luke. Say they only leave it 0. The fear of satisfaction. 25 is becoming a turn code. Oh, Luke, did you see? Did you see? Isn't she so beautiful? Look, she's got yellow hoofed thunder. Also, of course, the lovely Diao-chan here among us. We lost a battle against them plus an army with Lu Bu a little earlier. Outside of this silk thing, but we fled, and it ended up being very good. Yes, Hazley, Diao-chan is a famous beauty. She's not real. She was written into the novel, but she famously led to quite some errors. And of course, the Emperor Xian is right here. But yeah, Luke, it is good to see you, but you are coming in right at the end, because while I stole away in the middle of my workday happily, I now very much need to think about getting on the road. So we are going to grab this. Fuji is technically real. Yes, indeed. Maybe we should have not gone to 0 favor, but you know, like, is it going to let us pop the Emperor before he runs away? I don't know. So we'll go up this way and start besieging the pass because, well, no, we won't because we want to heal. Technically real, fictional. Yeah. But they're all going to be the best of friends, right? Man, still negative food. Do we drop Chang'an again? No, that's right, because it'll get better. Gao Shun will take this, which means we'll lose more food, but, you know, we'll have to... Well, we could try to end the war right now. Yeah, it's the first turn we had him. We're at 5. Well, let's see. Say funny to move towards it, North and just make it full cavalry. Oh, indeed. Well, if you see this army, that's actually exactly what we're doing. Cao Cao wants me to join his coalition for 6 grand. Cao Cao. I'm pretty sure Dong Bai has the CJI, right? Which is very good for us indeed. But yeah, Shazley, normally I have a more balanced army whenever I play, but here... Aw, man. Man. He ran away before I could get rid of him. That is a shame. We're going to be declared an enemy of the Han. We're about to have a super bad time. We're about to have a super bad time. Oh well. We're about to have satisfaction problems everywhere. He's at 1? If we give him the pass, will he leave with it? Or will he immediately get happier? Hopefully he'll immediately get happier. If not, then we'll have to take it right back from him. Yeah, that is a massive headache. Yeah, well, we're gonna have a big problem for the rest of the playthrough until till the Emperor doesn't matter anymore. It's alright. It was worth a try. It almost worked.
乱军终于得以平息，随我来。
Oh well. What does this guy have to be mad about? Well, at least we leveled up our faction. You know, they can't take that away from us. Yeah, terrible, terrible stuff. Now we could get peace with them. Is that desirable?
我们有许多话要谈。
Everybody who matters is happy enough. Yeah. I guess. What about you, buddy? Do you have filial and uncorrupt? You don't. Great. And you're really mad. Well, that was a waste of money. He's brilliant. It doesn't matter. Well, we'll release him and maybe he'll be happier later. Man. Well. Alright, so anyone that we have join is gonna hate us. I need my generic vanguards. They've been with me forever. Who else am I gonna get to put down all these rebellions? Like, literally whom? We are gonna get declared an enemy of the Han so soon. That is incredibly annoying. Alright, do we take the pass knowing that defending upwards of the pass is better? Well, sort of want Hong Nong for that. Because if we don't want the passes, then we should get peace right now, and then he'll just go home. Right? Because...
威加海内，乱世绥定。讨平乱贼， 澄清四海。
Need Hong Kong to make this. Yeah, because you have to have this for the replenishment and to sit in there for the vision and all. Yeah. We could take Hanzhong real quick. Which actually would be quite decent because we would give us the silk tie-in, right? We're going to make this tax exempt real quick so that we don't have a rebellion there. Replenish, move up there towards them, and they might actually just back away or move in here and fight this army, which would be just fine. Even though, you know, these are our 3 real fighters, we could probably be smart about it. Probably. But speaking of being smart, it is time for me to go. I'm not going to get a whole bunch of go home in the middle of the days out of my job if I don't show up when I'm supposed to at the end of the day. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. Ma Teng, he's old now. He's 68 years old. The protector of the West. Still kicking somehow. It's going to be really bad when he dies. We're going to lose a ton of money. We're going to lose, like, all of our silk income, basically, or half of it, overnight. And then also all of our troops are going to get more expensive, and they'll all be worse at fighting. So we just got to hope that he keeps on staying alive for a good long while later. The more I call attention to it, the more likely it'll happen. Nah, if I had that kind of power, the world would be a much different place, and everybody would already know that I was capable of changing it by thinking. Alright, so we do have a money surplus for now. If we move up this way, we could fight them. And that's like a better place to have than not having it, right? It would really tie this all together. Won't have forever runs anymore? Yeah, we will, because the Emperor is gonna give us the old enemy of the Han, and everybody will hate us forever. But, you know, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? I'm sure I don't know. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with Lu Ji while I'm at work, and then we'll do it. You know, it's not as good as the map has looked at turn 213 before, or in 213 on turn 116. But you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I will perhaps see you guys later on. I'll be back tonight. Maybe playing this. I'm trying to play more stuff, but I'm just so engaged. You know, it's hard to look away. But later, Luke. Later, Hazley. I will catch you guys later.